welcome to the weekend edition of the Nightly Nugent. Ted, I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty worn out after this week. I mean, Monday through Thursday, we talked about the alphabet bureaucracy of just trash that's going on with our government. And then last night, I mean, that was one of the most emotional, the Nightly Nuges we've ever had, where you talked about Fred Bear. And you promised us all week long that you had the answers, Ted. And our listeners have patiently waited all week through the garbage and then through just the incredible Fred Bear moment last night. But as we said here on the weekend edition of the Nightly Nuge, Ted, what is the answer to all of the garbage? What can we do? How can we fix this?
Keith, I was attacked for doing perfect things back in the 1960s in the world of rock and roll. I was attacked for killing deer. Well, that's perfect. You have to balance the herd. I knew it was perfect. I was attacked for carrying a gun. Armed and keeping and bearing arms and defending your precious gift of life. It's perfect. They would attack me for those two things specifically. They would make fun of me because I wouldn't get high, because getting high, you become not comfortably numb, but uncomfortably dumb. And so I somehow, I think it was the discipline of my dad, pulled myself up by the metaphorical bootstraps, and I stood my ground, and I didn't just stand my ground, I pushed back. Well, eventually I realized what I was doing was experimenting in self-government. I was standing up for truth, logic, and common sense as outlined in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule. I knew I was the good guy and my critics were the bad guys in every instance. And then I had people who did agree that carried guns and loved to hunt and wanted to be clean and sober. I had them go, well, I don't want to get involved. I'm not into politics. We are going down the worst toilet flushing in America right now because people didn't want to get involved with politics. Shame on you. Shame on you for letting all those flag-draped coffins come home and you're not willing to pay for them. It's that simple. And we created an organization. You had an idea years ago during the 2016 election to get an outsider in that was spotlighting the cockroaches in the industrial military congressional complex, raping and pillaging hardworking Americans' paychecks and lives. And you created Hunter Nation. I think it sounds so simple that people shrug their shoulders and go, well, it can't be that simple. It's that simple. Circle the conservative wagons. And I repeat it all the time. I do media every day. God. This is a divine intervention experiment in self-government. We're the only people who stood up against kings and tyrants and emperors and slave drivers. The United States of America was the first example of individual freedom in the history of the human experience. It's what God wanted. It was divine intervention. Yes. And if you believe that you have the wherewithal, the intellect, the spirit, the work ethic, the piss and vinegar to carve out your own quality of life, but you're not into politics, I'm sorry, you have failed. Politics are the experiment in self-government demanding constitutional accountability from all of our elected employees, and hunternation.org is the place to do it. You've got to tell everybody you know, join us at hunternation.org. We are fighting the front lines in all 50 states. I even fight in Canada and over in Europe to get bow hunting legal. I mean, they'll never get a Second Amendment, but at least we can get bow hunting legal in France. If you believe in God, family, country, independence, work ethic, law and order, good over evil, if you believe in those things, it doesn't do any good to believe in them. You have to act upon them. That's experimenting in self-government. And that is an American job. It's a duty. It's a responsibility. It's an obligation. Come with us at hunternation.org. Just go there, please. Become a member. If you can make a donation, because we have boots on the ground in every state, and we're going to ballot harvest. We're going to get people to vote their conscience. We're going to get people to stand up for God, family, country, law, and order, all of which are against the law based on what Uncle Sam, Big Tech, Hollywood, Tractor Supply, Anheuser-Busch, Ford Motor Company, North Face, and Disney, and they're all against the basic values that made the greatest quality of life in the history of the world. And if you want to fight back and have freedom, you've got to join us at hunternation.org. Write it down, join us, get everybody you know that's going, man, I hate this, I hate that, the gas prices, and I'm being attacked for the bump stock, and I got a brace pistol, and now they want to kick down my door. If you're fed up with Fedzilla, join hunternation.org, make a donation, because we've got boots on the ground. We got people in trucks going around the states, around the cities, around their neighborhoods, getting people to vote their values. Hunternation.org. I swear to God, Keith, if just the licensed hunters in America, if just the licensed hunters in America would join hunternation.org and strategize how to overwhelm the enemy with legal votes, and we can do it, we'd win every election. There'd be no more communists. There'd be no more Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Michael Moore fan clubs anymore. Hunternation.org. It's the answer if people will only act upon it.
You know what, Ted? We've got some big announcements coming up at Hunter Nation. You're coming onto the hard board. We've got a couple of other big national names that are coming onto our hard boards, including some of the people that are already on there. We're starting state chapters, which eventually we want to have them in every state. But Wisconsin, here we come. We're looking for you in Wisconsin. Go to hunternation.org. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ted Nugent's home state. We're coming with a state chapter there.
Texas,
Georgia, Texas, and my home state of Kansas, because it is my home state. So we're coming here, and then we're going to go to the great state of Louisiana, where they have a critical governor's election this year. And all we're asking is that you join our team, become a member, become active. And we're looking for a number of real hunter activists in those states that will lead this grassroots army. Ted, what a great week we've had. I really appreciate everything that you're doing. You've been the national spokesman of Hunter Nation for a long time. You're on the stump every single day, whether it's a national interview or a local cafe. You're always talking about Hunter Nation and how important it is. Ted, great week. Final word.
Bottom line is, Keith, thank you for all your research and all your dedication, because I know you give up a lot of important things. You stick with God, family, and country, but you're giving up a lot of your personal time, and I salute you for that. And Tim, our producer here, and now we got Brittany Jill from Illinois joining up. We're going to have a great, great spearhead of taking back this country from the serpents, the drag queen serpents that have intentionally destroyed this country, eliminated family, eliminated God, eliminated patriotism. We can bring it all back. So my friends, if you truly want to make that change and get back to that shining city on the hill, it's hunternation.org. And I salute those who are participating, and I beg those that aren't to become a real American and fight with us. hunternation.org.
Ted, see you next week, buddy.
Godspeed, guys.